لتطهير الأنفس ولتعجيل فرج سيدنا ومولانا صاحب العصر والزمان ولقضاء الحوائج، طهروا مجالسكم بذكر الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. She was the fourth lady to embrace and enter into the religion of Islam, an individual who was praised by the Ahl al-Bayt to be one of the people of paradise, a lady who displayed incredible devotion and loyalty towards the Ahl al-Bayt, gave her sons as martyrs defending the path, and arguably was the last human being to see and to speak to the daughter of the Holy Prophet. Lady Asma Bint Umais, Radwanullahi ta'ala alayha, is one of the most distinguished women in the history of the religion of Islam. A lady who is respected by all Muslims of different denominations. An individual whom today you and I have heard of, perhaps by passing in majalis or in historical references. But if you were to ask people, who is Asma bint Umais? Can you tell me about Asma bint Umais and her legacy, her life, her teachings? Some of us will struggle to talk about this particular honorable individual. In the idea that today you and I exhibit loyalty and love towards the Ahl al-Bayt, it is a matter of pride and honor for us to be called the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen, the Shia of Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima, the Shia of Aba Abdullah. If you were to ask people, who is Asma bint Umais? Can you tell me about Asma bint Umais and her legacy, her life, her teachings? Some of us will struggle to talk about this particular honorable individual. In the idea that today you and I exhibit loyalty and love towards the Ahl al-Bayt, it is a matter of pride and honor for us to be called the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen, the Shia of Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima, the Shia of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, that you and I indeed profess our attachment and our loyalty towards these honorable individuals. At the same time that indeed we talk the talk, we need to walk the walk, in that we need to be able to recognize that those around the Ahl al-Bayt were people who manifested the qualities of the Ahl al-Bayt. In that individuals such as, for example, Umais al-Qarni, or for example, Maytham al-Tammar, or Malik al-Ashtar, people like Salama, people like al-Baneen, people like, for example, Asma bint Umais. These individuals recognized the excellence of Ali Muhammad, and therefore they sought to somehow model their lives around these holy individuals. When I look at Asma bint Umais, I need to ask the question, what does she mean for me as an individual living in the 21st century? Indeed, there are many areas in which you and I are able to connect with her. Specifically, if you look in the world today, you and I are bombarded with information, isn't it? Because according to latest statistics, an average youth within the Western world spends up to 9 hours online. 9 hours are spent surfing the internet. This is more than time used for sleeping, more than time used for eating. Today, we are bombarded with information. Wherever we go, we are indeed given pockets of information. Many of us have detailed information about certain aspects in life. How many of us have detailed information, for example, about the 142 million deal that happened last week? Most of us are very well about it, yes? We know the ins and outs of the deal. But when it comes to those surrounding Ali Muhammad, we struggle, yes? At the same time, people ask, what is so special about Asma bint Umais? Why should the life of Asma bint Umais be studied? Because if you were to Google Asma bint Umais today, you would not find books in English about her. You would struggle to find books in Arabic about her. You would go to YouTube and not find necessarily lectures discussing her life, discussing her position with the Ahl al-Bayt. Why is Asma bint Umais of those who are considered to have excellence in status? Number one, she's unique because she married 3 individuals in her lifetime. Yes? 3 of them were companions of the Holy Prophet. 2 of them were righteous. One of the greatest individuals. Yes, 2 of those 3. Similarly, we find narrations within the school that says that Asma is honored as the people of Jannah. Imam al-Baqir salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, in the book Al-Khisal, what does he say? He says, Rahimallahu al-akhawat min al-jannah. May Allah have mercy upon the ladies of paradise. And then he mentions who? He mentions Asma bint Umais first. Yes? That's number 2. Number 3, Asma is considered to be one of the companions of the Holy Prophet. A companion who went through difficulties and hardship. A companion who was tested in many occasions. A companion who excelled in her companionship of the Holy Prophet. And therefore today exists as a role model for both men and women. You and I, as followers of the school of Ahlul Bayt, don't have an intrinsic fundamental issue with the Sahaba of the Prophet. However, we say we have a barometer as far as the Sahabi is concerned. The Sahabi needs to be an individual who carried the message of the Prophet and was honorable towards his family afterwards, yes? Not somebody who indeed turned against the progeny whom the Prophet of Islam himself says you must protect and look after. Asma bint Umais is a narrator of hadith. She's narrated over 60 narrations from the Holy Prophet of Islam, Rasul al-A'zam wa Nabi al-Akram, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Amongst the narrations that Asma radwanullahi ta'ala alayha has narrated is what? Is Hadithul Manzila. Anta minni bimanzilati Haruna min Musa. You are to me what Aaron was to Moses. Asma narrates this. She also narrates this important story that today there is a mosque in Medina named after the story. It's called Masjidul Fadikh or Masjid Radd al-Shams. Yes, most of you are aware. But one of the narrators of this is Asma herself. She says one time, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Mawla al-Muttaqeen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, was what? Was sitting and the Prophet of Islam was sleeping on his lap. And he did not wish to disturb the Messenger of God. And at that moment, Amir al-Mu'mineen had not prayed his Salatul Asr. The time for Salatul Asr had lapsed and the Prophet woke up. When he asked Amir al-Mu'mineen what had happened, Amir al-Mu'mineen said to him that I have not prayed Salatul Asr. This is found in both Sunni and Shia narrations. Asma says, the Prophet of Islam raises his hands and prays and supplicates to Allah. He says, Ilahi rudda ash-shamsa li Ali. Ya Allah, return back the sun for Amir al-Mu'mineen. And Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala responded to the supplication of the Holy Prophet, and the sun indeed returned back. Amir al-Mu'mineen performed the salah, and then what? The sun set again. Therefore you find that she is an individual who is considered a muhadditha, an individual who narrated many narrations from the Holy Prophet of Islam. Similarly, today what do we find? We find that as far as her relationship with Sayyidatun Nisa, Fatima Zahra, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayha is concerned, Asma was one of the closest. She loved Fatima, yes? She was an individual who associated herself with the daughter of the Holy Prophet. And therefore you ask the question, when I examine the life of Asma today, why is it relevant and significant in this day and age? You and I know that in this times we are going through challenging obstacles and many areas that pose a question with regards to the position of women in the religion of Islam. You find today in the media, often the subject of Muslim women are discussed. You find the subject of hijab is at the forefront of many different articles and projections out there, whether online or on certain media channels. You find that, for example, hijab today is being depicted in many places. You even find that the winner of the so-called British Bake Off is a lady who wears hijab. Recently, The Apprentice had a lady who wears hijab, isn't it? Similarly, what do you find? You find the subject of hijab has come at the news where schools, Ofsted, the governing body that dictates or does the governance as far as standards of education is concerned, are investigating and will interview those who wear hijab as far as ladies are concerned, isn't it? At the same time, what do you find? You find that this particular element of a Muslim woman is under scrutiny, and people are asking many questions about who Muslims are and who women and what kind of role do Muslim women have within the religion of Islam. You have many misconceptions. You have many ideas that have been presented regarding the role of Muslim women. You only need to type Muslim women on Google, and what do you get? You get this image of a lady who is wearing niqab, looking at the distance. Yes, you get the impression that this particular individual is subjugated, is oppressed, her right is taken away from her, she is voiceless, she is powerless, that she does not necessarily have the same rights within the religion of Islam. These misconceptions exist, don't they? These ideas are spread by certain individuals, and I tell you, you know what the difficulty and the pain that sometimes we go through is? It sometimes finds its way towards the mindset of our own sisters as well as brothers. Today when you speak to some of our sisters, they tell you, yes, I have a problem with the way Islam looks at women. Yes. You say to them, why? They say, you know, look at certain laws that seemingly Islam favors men over women. Yes. Sometimes these thoughts come to the mind of our sisters. The way they project themselves, for example, has been affected out there. Similarly, I remember one particular sister asked a question. She said, if Islam honors women, and you're talking about greats such as Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima, you're talking about Asma, you're talking about people like Fatima al-Ma'suma and others, why is there not a single woman who is a prophet? 124,000 prophets, every single one of them was a male. The question that is asked was, why therefore is there no women prophets? Tell me, if you say that Islam honors women, surely there has to be what? A position of women within these prophets. Some of them should be prophets, yes. The response is what? It is not because that women are deficient in their intellect or capability that there is no prophet who was a female. It is a technical issue. It's a physiological issue. If no prophet was a woman, then women made prophets. In which way? You look at Prophet Isa alayhi salam and his mother Mary, yes? You look at Prophet Musa alayhi salam and the role of his mother and his sister, isn't it? You look at Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam and the role of his wife. You look at Sayyida Khadija salamullahi alayha and the support she gave to the messenger of God. Indeed, women, what did they do? They made prophets. Also, a woman was what? The mother of all the representatives of Allah as far as Imams are concerned. Isn't it? That how beautiful is the exemplary personality of Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima. Yes? The loving mother. Yes? The skillful daughter. The loyal wife. The honorable women who represented all women. Yes? She was not only the person who was referred to as Abiha, the mother of her father, but she was also the proof of Allah, yes, over the Imams, isn't it? And likewise, she has a distinguishing personality and a characteristic that has led people towards the religion of Islam. Because there's an American professor in Iowa. He said, I was researching Islam and I came to the conclusion that Islam oppresses women. He says, I could see these images. I could see the way some Muslim men deal with their wives and deal with their mothers and others, yes? And I came to the conclusion that this religion does not respect females. He said, but thereafter I came across a narration that opened my eyes regarding the religion of Islam's treatment with females. The narration was from the Prophet of Islam. The narration says, Fatima bid'atun minni. يَرْضَى اللَّهُ لِرِضَاهَا وَيَغْضَبُ لِغَضَبِهَا. He says, when I read this narration which says Fatima is part of me, Allah is pleased with her pleasure and is displeased with her displeasure. I thought, if this religion honors women to the extent that the pleasure of God is associated with the pleasure of a woman, then it's a religion that truly honors females. He embraced the religion of Islam. He said, through the hadith of Fatima, I discovered the excellence that as far as the religion of Islam is concerned, of course there's no doubt that there is a difference between the teachings of the religion and the practice of the Muslims. No doubt about this. You've all heard about the tragic incident that happened yesterday or day before in Pakistan. The way that, for example, this poor 7-year-old was raped and killed and placed where the rubbish is, has broken the hearts of so many people around the world. Yes, as far as the projection and the way some people deal with the women, that is different. Yes, but the religion of Islam is clear as far as its position is concerned. That's why you find it's of great honor to study the life of this lady, Asma Bint Umais, her association with the honorable lady of light, Fatima, because she recognized her status, isn't it? Listen to this hadith. from the Holy Prophet, Al-Rasul Al-A'zam wa Nabi Al-Akram Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. He was seen in Masjid al-Nabawi, and all of a sudden he went into sajda. When he went to sajda, someone came to him and said, Ya Rasulullah, why did you go into sajda? When he went into sajda, he then sat, then went into sajda again, and then sat, and went into sajda again. 5 times he went into sajda. He said, on the first occasion, Allah revealed to me that He loves Ali ibn Abi Talib. And I went into prostration to express my gratitude for that. He said, the second time I was told that Allah loves Fatima, and I thanked the Almighty for that. On the third occasion, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala told me He loved Al-Hasan Al-Mujtaba. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And I prostrated to Allah because of this. On the fourth occasion, Allah revealed to me and He said He loves Hussein. And I made sajda to say thank you for the fact that He loves Hussein. Then he was told, Ya Rasulullah, what was the fifth sajda for then? He says, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala revealed to me, إِنَّهُ يُحِبُّ مَنْ أَحَبَّهُمَا, that Allah loves whomsoever loves those individuals. And I went into sajda. Yes. Asma bint Umais recognized this. Yes, her life is unique. Let's investigate it and answer a number of very important questions regarding her life. Perhaps it will be a precursor for us to look into this into more detail. There is no records as far as the date of the birth of Asma is concerned. Yet she is from the tribe of Khath'am. Yes, her father was not very well known, but her mother was a lady by the name of Hind. And Hind had married a number of people before she married whom? Asma's father. Hind had what? Had a number of daughters. Asma had 11 sisters. Who were the Asma's sisters? We are told that one of her sister was Al-Maymuna Bint Al-Harith. She's one of the wives of the Holy Prophet. One of her sisters was the wife of Hamza, yes, Ibn Abdul Muttalib. One of her sisters was the wife of Al-Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib. So, Asma bint Umais had 3 brothers-in-law. Do you know who they were? The Prophet, his uncle Hamza, and his uncle Abbas, to start off with. Asma bint Umais, when we recognize her status, we find that she got married to Ja'far ibn Abi Talib radwanullahi ta'ala alayhi. Ja'far indeed was a man who was beloved to Rasulullah and the Ahl al-Bayt. The Holy Prophet would say that you are to me, or I see you as a man who has my akhlaq and my what? My appearance. Such was the praise that Ja'far received from Rasulullah. Ja'far al-Tayyar, as he is known, was a man who married whom? Who married Asma bint Umais. And Ja'far was whom? According to narrations, the third to come and support the Prophet of Islam and declare his Islam. Yes, many scholars say it's not that he wasn't a Muslim, yes, because those who were from the progeny of Prophet Ibrahim, they worshipped Allah and they worshipped Allah alone. They did not bow down to idols or prostrated towards anything other than the Almighty. Ja'far al-Tayyar was therefore the third Muslim, or the third individual who supported the Prophet. Who was the first two? Amir al-Mu'mineen and whom? And Zayd ibn Harith. Yes. Therefore, Asma bint Umais was the fourth. After whom? After Sayyidatun Nisa, Fatima, Sayyida Khadija, and Fatima bint Asad. Now you know. Yes. Fatima bint Asad, Sayyida Fatima, and indeed Sayyida Khadija. The fourth was Asma bint Umais. She came and supported the Prophet of Islam. But how wonderful was her support? I tell you, it was very difficult in Arabia at that time, in Mecca, when the Prophet of Islam had to endure so much torture, so much torment. Asma bint Umais would support the Prophet, that when he was mocked, when he was ridiculed, when he was named a sorcerer or a magician, she amongst the other Muslims would bear the pain and the suffering, until the Prophet of Islam says, it's time to migrate. He says to whom? He says to Ja'far. He says, Ja'far, you go towards the land of what? Al-Habasha, Abyssinia. There is a just king there. There is a king who is humble. His name is Najashi. Take some Muslims, over 100, and go. Narration says Ja'far came to his wife. He said to Asma, would you like to come with me? You're not forced, because when we got married, there was no condition that you should come with me wherever I go. Are you willing to come with me? She said, if this will save the religion of Islam, then I will go with you wherever you go. And Asma bint Umais went with Ja'far al-Tayyar and a few Muslims towards that particular land. This was the first migration, the first hijrah. Yes? That indeed today those who migrated are praised in the texts and within the world of hadith. You find that when they reached there, who came? Amr ibn al-As. Yes. Today we have a mosque in Egypt. It's called Masjid Amr ibn al-As. Subhanallah. He was the enemy of Rasulullah and he was the enemy of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Even all this, and they still respect him. Struggling. We struggle how sometimes people are not objective in their analysis of certain individuals. Yes? This man came and what did he say? He said to Najashi, he said, give me those people. These are rebels, they are heretics. Najashi said, why? He said, أفسدوا شبابنا سبوا آلهتنا. These people have destroyed our forefathers' religions. They have come forward and have cursed our idols. We have come with much gifts and presents for you, O king. You're a Christian king. Accept these presents and give us these heretics. Najashi said, hold on, I have to listen to them. Let me see what they actually say, yes? So Najashi brings Ja'far al-Tayyar. He says, Ja'far, come. He brings Amr ibn al-As and says, come. He asks Ja'far, what is your religion? Ja'far says, oh respected king, our religion is a religion that honors the prophets of God. Subhanallah. Today when someone asks you a question, what is Islam? Yes? Tell them that the religion of Islam honors Isa, Jesus, and honors Moses. Yes? Honors these prophets. It's not in any shape or way disrespect them. You know, during the Christmas, how wonderful it is that you see throughout social media people quoting references from the Quran. Yes? The only female mentioned by name in the Quran is Maryam. Yes? Bint Imran, the mother of Isa alayhi salam. These are wonderful tools for interfaith. These are ways in which we can present the beautiful teachings of the religion of Islam and the school of Ahl al-Bayt to others. Ja'far says this is our religion, to worship Allah and not to associate anyone with Him, to deal justly with the people, yes, to respect the black and the white, to respect all in the same manner. At that moment, Najashi famously drew a line on the floor, on the ground, and said, between you and I, as far as your religion and mine is concerned, the difference is what you see. He sent back Amr ibn al-As and said, take your presents. I am giving these people sanctuary. I am looking after them. I am protecting them. And you know what Asma bint Umais did in Abyssinia? Please pay attention to this. This is of great importance to our lives today. Because some people say we live in a very difficult world. You know, it's all idealistic, trying to talk about how we exhibit our loyalty towards the religion of Islam and the Ahl al-Bayt when we are in a country like this or in the Western world. Asma bint Umais was in a land which was not hers, yes? But her and Ja'far al-Tayyar, what did they do as well as the other Muslims? They utilized the opportunity, number one, to protect their identity, the hawiyya, yes? Number one. And number two, their akhlaq and mannerism led to the fact that the Najashi embraced the religion of Islam. Not only this, when he had a son, he named him Muhammad. Can you imagine if Najashi was the king of the people? Ja'far was the king of the hearts. He won the hearts of the people, yes? Ja'far was able to transform that particular society. And today people ask, where did Islam start? How did it start in Africa? It started through Asma and Ja'far al-Tayyar. They went to Africa, yes? And they were the first seeds to spread the religion of Islam over there. The first Muslim to be born in Africa was the son of Asma and Ja'far by the name of Abdullah ibn Ja'far. He is the husband of Sayyida Zainab. Yes? He was the first to be born in that particular land. And we are told that Ja'far al-Tayyar had also whom? Had also two other sons by the name of Muhammad and Aoun. Therefore he had three sons with Asma bint Umais. The narrations tell us that he returned from the land of Abyssinia, from the land on the occasion of the conquest of Khaybar. Yes? And the Prophet of Islam was delighted with this. I tell you, sometimes when you reflect on this migration and the presence of these individuals in this land, you ask the question, today there is an identity crisis when it comes to our youth out there, isn't it? Just bear with me for a few moments. Understand this very delicate nature of the discussion that sometimes people say. I have had discussions with some youth, yes, online and face to face. Recently, one of them in a gathering said to me, you know, when I come to the mosque, when I come to the Husayniyya, when I come for the majalis of Abdullah, Sayyidatun Nisa, Fatima, I am honored to be a Shi'i, I am honored to be a Muslim. But the moment I'm out there at school, the moment I'm out there in college, at university, I forget that. You know, I wear the garment, or in my mind, yes, I'm not really into the religion of Islam. I fear expressing my faith, no doubt. Yes, this is a challenge out there today. We need to empower our brothers and sisters to feel proud of their madhab, to be proud of their religion. Yes, that I am a Shi'i, I am a Muslim, and I'm proud of it. There is nothing wrong with this particular declaration, and to profess that association with the Prophet of Islam and the Ahl al-Bayt out there, isn't it? And I tell you, alhamdulillah, we have wonderful examples, especially when it comes to our sisters, as the topic is related to females, of how they have displayed themselves out there. Have you heard of this first US federal judge who was a Muslimah wearing a hijab? Her name is Charlene Elder in the United States. Yes? When she was voted, she was asked, are you going to take your hijab off? She said, no. She said, why? You're the first lady, you know, who sits in that particular position with a hijab. She said, hijab is my principle. Yes, I will not sacrifice my principle. Today, after so many years in the job, when she was asked, how is your relationship with the hijab, that you sit there in that particular position, do you know what she said? She said, I get more respect and honor because of the hijab. Hijab brings me that dignity. Yes, she's in a position of responsibility, but she kept on with her hijab. Yes. Similarly, I received an email from one of the sisters. She said, I decided to keep the hijab because I heard some of my friends and others are taking the hijab off. She said, when I kept my hijab at university, it was a means by which people came to discuss with me. It was a means by which I could talk about the religion of Islam. Yes. And they respected me because they saw me a principled individual. They saw me a person who does not go with the flow and give up what I have been brought up because of the pressures of the time, yes, but rather I will stick in the path of Fatima, of Zainab, of these honorable ladies that have given their lives in order for me to uphold the Islamic dress code of modesty and chastity. I'm not going to give it up. Similarly, not only am I not going to give it up, but I'm not going to sacrifice its principles. What do we mean? We mean, sadly, out there today, there are these makeup tutorials. There are these aspects which indeed present hijab in a very disrespectful manner. Hijab is there not to attract attention, my dear sisters, yes. And there's no doubt, because they get sensitive sometimes, the discussion regarding hijab must include the brothers. They have a role there. Social hijab, as far as the husbands and the fathers are concerned, their support for their, for example, spouse or their daughters or their, for example, sisters, it's of the utmost importance. But today it's a collective effort to bring it together. And may Allah bless those young sisters. Weren't we proud when we saw them stand in the cathedral, yes, a few weeks ago, and recite in memory of those who fell in the Grenfell Towers, yes, wearing the hijab with honor and pride, isn't it? When you look at that clip, doesn't it fill you with honor that they wore the hijab? They did not necessarily sacrifice it, but they came and presented the religion of Islam in indeed such a manner. Therefore you find that Asma bint Umais, as well as the Muslims and Ja'far al-Tayyar, came to Madinatul Nabi in the year 7 after Hijrah, just after the victory of Khaybar. And Rasulullah Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam would famously state how important the return of these Muslims were from Abyssinia. He says, I don't know which I should be happy about, yes? فتح خيبر أم رجوع جعفر. Yes, which one should I talk about? Which one should I express joy, the return of Ja'far al-Tayyar, or what? Or the victory at the land of Khaybar? Because you know, today, if you analyze history, what do you find? You find people such as Al-Hakim al-Hasakani and others talk about the presence of Asma bint Umais in the wedding of Sayyidatun Nisa and Amir al-Mu'mineen. People say, was she there? She was there. She supported Sayyida Fatima, didn't she? Yes. They cite her presence where? They cite her presence in the birth of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. They say Asma bint Umais helped Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima. She was there when Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam was born. Yes, some say 3rd after Hijrah, some say 4 after Hijrah. This is a question mark. Was Asma bint Umais in Abyssinia or was she in Medina? You see her name often mentioned, yes? Historically, it has puzzled people. Allama Majlisi, Allah Ta'ala maqamah, discusses this. Many scholars and historians have struggled with this. They say we find Asma bint Umais mentioned to be present in Medina, but we know that she returned on the year 7th after Hijrah. So how do we reconcile? Some ulama said, no, that's a different Asma. The one who's mentioned to be with Amir al-Mu'mineen and Sayyida Fatima in a celebration of their marriage and the wilada of their sons, that's a different Asma. Some say Asma, no, she made a journey from the land of Habasha towards Medina because apparently the distance was not that extensive and she was Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, salamullahi alayhi, where in the battle of Mu'tah, because indeed the Prophet of Islam sent him with Zayd ibn Haritha and the Muslims to find the Romans in that particular place in Jordan today, yes, where there is a shrine for Ja'far al-Tayyar. When you go to Jordan, yes, and you have a few days, go to the land of Mu'tah, visit Ja'far al-Tayyar, yes. It's only Shi'as who visit him primarily. We have an association and a responsibility with the Ahl al-Bayt and those around them to visit their shrines. Yes, when you go to Jordan, make an effort to visit the shrine of Ja'far al-Tayyar, radwanullahi ta'ala alayh. He attained martyrdom. How? Narrations tell us that he received over 60 arrows and his right and left arm were cut in the battlefield. The Prophet of Islam received this and went to the house of Asma. When he went to the house of Asma, Asma himself says, the Prophet came. He looked at the children, yes? He hugged the children, he began to cry. He placed his hands over the head of the children. Who? Abdullah, Aun and Muhammad, isn't it? And then I said to him, Ya Rasulullah, what's happened to Ja'far? He said to me, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Qutila Ja'far. That Ja'far has indeed passed away. He has been killed. Asma was gravely saddened by this, yes? She has lost her husband, and what a husband to lose. But then Rasulullah would give her some glad tidings. He says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has replaced Ja'far's arms with wings in paradise. Don't worry, yes? That he is in a good position. Ja'far al-Tayyar is in a good position. Thereafter, what happened to Asma bint Umais? This is a very controversial part of the discussion that requires your attention. Asma bint Umais thereafter marries the first Khalifa, Abu Bakr. Yes, people have objected. Before we discuss the objection, there is a contemporary issue related to this, and that is how you and I view divorcees. Sadly, in many societies today, when it comes to our females or sisters who have divorced, sometimes there is a stigma attached, yes? Many of them, they struggle to get married. Many of them would come and say, you know what, I need to get married. I have children, for example, or I'm still in my 30s. Sometimes they're looked down upon. Sometimes some of our brothers don't want anything to do with them, isn't it? That there is the stigma in societies, in different cultures, because sometimes marriages don't work out. Not necessarily a marriage is always going to be successful. Sometimes it's not for the best for it to continue, isn't it? And therefore you find that some of our sisters are struggling. They say, you know what? We are finding it difficult to find a husband out there today. It's not easy for us to be married. And therefore, it is a responsibility for us not to, in any shape or form, push them to the side and ignore their rights. It's a responsibility for us, yes, not in a shape or form to look down or to stigmatize this group of people, which, by the way, the numbers are increasing. Asma bint Umais is an example of this. After her husband had been martyred, she married the first Khalifa. People ask the question, and this you'll find on the internet. They say, hold on a minute. You say Asma is an honorable lady, yes? You praise Asma as one of the ladies with Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima. Why did she then marry the first Khalifa? Is that acceptable? You have a problem, don't we? Yes? People here object. I have seen this question posed, you know. Sometimes you have on the internet, yes, articles, yes. أسئلة قادت الشيعة إلى الحق. Questions that led the Shia towards the truth. Yes, it's all nonsense. You go there and you see they're all based on feeble arguments. They have no strength. One of them is this. They say, if you do not honor and respect the first Khalifa, why did Asma bint Umais marry the first Khalifa? This is an important question that you and I must be able to defend the position and the status of this lady. The answer to this is, since when marriage somehow to do with merit and status? You say, how? I say, look at, for example, Asiya. She was married to Fir'aun. Asiya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises her in the Quran. Did she divorce Fir'aun? No. Yes. Similarly, you find whom? Prophet Lut, Prophet Nuh. They did not have righteous wives. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because somebody marries someone, that particular individual is righteous. It doesn't mean at all, yes? Similarly, you have the Prophet of Islam himself. Prophet of Islam himself had wives that were not righteous, wives who conspired against him. The Quran tells us, yes, in chapter 66, it is not a merit. Marriage does not necessarily make someone achieve excellence. Yes, that's number one. Number two, Lut alayhi salam, Prophet Lut, when he came, what did he say? He says to the people who are running after the malaika, you know, those who had come to give him news, because they were men, those people came. Lut says, Ha'ula'i banati, take my wife, take my daughters, marry them. In other words, Lut didn't have a problem marrying his own daughters to these individuals. Even today we can't really talk about this subject. But Lut did not have an issue, yes? And therefore the conclusion that arises from this is what? Is that the very fact that sometimes an individual is married to another person does not in any way add to the credibility or to the status or to the merit of that particular person that they're married to. Hence you find from this marriage though emerged an individual who is beloved to Amir al-Mu'mineen, a man by the name of Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayh. Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr is an honorable man. We love him. Yes, there is no doubt about Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr's status, because he was 3 years of age when his father died. Yes, and he was raised by Amir al-Mu'mineen. Yes, why was he raised by Amir al-Mu'mineen? He was raised by Amir al-Mu'mineen because Asma bint Umais married the commander of the faithful. Yes. Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr is considered to be one of the disciples of the Imam alayhi salam. In a narration that we find narrated by Sheikh al-Mufid and other scholars, it says, إِذَا كَانَ يَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ نَادَى مُنَادٍ أَيْنَ حَوَارِيِّ عَلِيِّ بْنَ أَبِي طَالِبٍ. On the Day of Judgment, there is a declaration. Where are the disciples of Ali ibn Abi Talib? Yes, there are 4. They emerge. Notice who they are, yes? Number 1, Amr ibn Hamaq al-Khaza'i. He emerges. Number 2, Maytham al-Tammar. Number 3, Uwais al-Qarani. Number 4, Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr. He emerges as one of the close disciples of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Ibn Abi al-Hadid al-Mu'tazili, in his Sharh of Nahj al-Balagha, what does he say? He says, لَقَدْ تَشَيَّعَ Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr. Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr was raised and infused with the what? With the love of the Ahl al-Bayt, yes? And the Imam alayhi salam loved him, and the Ahl al-Bayt alayhi salam praised him. He fought with Amir al-Mu'mineen in the battles of Jamal and Siffin. And he was sent by Amir al-Mu'mineen towards the land of Egypt in order to become its governor. What happened to him? Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan sent the same man, Amr ibn al-As. He went there. What did he do? He captured Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr. And he said to him, I'm going to kill you. When he killed him, what did he do to him? He beheaded him. Then he placed his body inside a donkey and he burnt the donkey. The next time someone tells you of the honor of certain Sahaba, tell them of the dark legacy that they have left behind. Yes? Tell them of how today certain terrorist groups are learning from these incidents in history, isn't it? You find Muhammad ibn Akr was a man who was grieved by the Imam alayhi salam. When he heard of the news of the Shahada of Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, Imam alayhi salam was indeed saddened. Asma bint Umais was indeed saddened. The narrations tell us that she wept and cried for the loss of her son. Who else did she have? With whom? With the honorable husband Ja'far al-Tayyar. She had Aun and Muhammad. By the way, Aun and Muhammad are not the Aun and Muhammads who are Abdullah ibn Ja'far's sons who were martyred in Karbala. These are separate Aun and Muhammad, yes? This Aun and Muhammad, Muhammad was martyred in Siffin and Aun was martyred on the 10th of Muharram with Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. So there are a number of Auns who attained Shahada on the day of Ashura with the grandson of the Holy Prophet. Asma bint Umais gave Shuhada for the path of Islam. Asma bint Umais sacrificed so the religion of Islam would reach us today, yes? Asma bint Umais raised her children in the love of Ali Muhammad. That's why we are told, indeed, her marriage with Amir al-Mu'mineen was fruitful to the extent that she had a number of sons, yes? She also had another son by the name of Aun, yes? And she had a son by the name of Yahya. The narrations tell us that Amir al-Mu'mineen was martyred. Asma bint Umais remained alive. Imam Zayn al-Abidin narrates from her and she passed away. Her grave, we don't know. Some say it's in Medina. Some say it's in the Iraqi city of Al-Qasim. Today, if you go to the city of Qasim in Iraq, close to Hilla, you'll find there's a shrine for Asma bint Umais. But it's unlikely that she's buried there, yes? Because it's likely that she's buried in Medina. But arguably amongst her great successes and points that will stand to illuminate her legacy is her association with the daughter of the Holy Prophet, Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima, yes? Because she would remember Rasulullah Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. She would remember Rasulullah saying, فَأَمَّا ابْنَتِي فَاطِمَةً فإنها سيدة نساء العالمين من الأولين والآخرين. My daughter Fatima, she is the chief and the mistress of the women of the worlds from the beginning of time till the end. وأنها قرة عيني نور عيني وثمرة فؤادي وروحي التي بين جنبي وهي الحوراء الإنسية. That Rasulullah would praise his daughter Fatima and say that she is the soul that is between me. She is the apple of my eye. She is my pride and honor. Asma bint Umais has been demonstrated to be an individual who would stick with Sayyidah Fatima as far as her legacy is concerned. Do you know why? Because when Asma heard the news of the Shahada of Ja'far al-Tayyar, narrations tell us the Prophet of Islam said to Fatima, said to her, go and prepare some meal for the family. Fatima salamullahi alayha prepared the meal. You know, today when we have majalis, often we have a meal, yes? Afterwards, sometimes, yes? This starts from the what? From the sunnah of what? The Prophet after the Shahada of Ja'far al-Tayyar, yes? Many times people ask, where do we have this idea of serving food, yes? In the love of Ahl al-Bayt after majalis. The Prophet of Islam asked that food is cooked by Sayyidah Fatima and distributed. From that moment, and arguably before, Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha had an association with Asma bint Umais. And Asma would not leave her, yes? Asma would want to be with her. In which way? We are told, and please pay attention to this, Asma was married to the first Khalifa, yet she stood against her husband and sided with the Ahl al-Bayt when it came to the matter of Fadak. When it came to the rights of Sayyidah Fatima that was usurped from her. Yes? The narrations today point to this, but sadly our brothers, they don't want to know anything about this. Yes? They don't want to discuss this element, but it's there in history. Yes? They ignore this important part of the life of this honorable lady. Do you know why? Because one day Amir al-Mu'mineen came and said what? And said to the first Khalifa, he said, why have you taken the right of my wife Fatima as far as Fadak is concerned? He said, bring me proof. So who did Amir al-Mu'mineen bring? He brought himself, Imam al-Hasan and Hussein, Asma bint Umais and Ayman. Yes. The first Khalifa said, no, I will not accept this. He said, why? He said, you are her husband. These are two of her sons. Ayman is a servant. Asma bint Umais was married to one of the Bani Hashims, Ja'far al-Tayyar. Therefore, I will not accept her testimony. Asma would stand against her husband in order to what? Defend the right of the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim as-salam. Sheikh al-Saduq, alallahu ta'ala maqamah, he narrates this in his book Ilal al-Shara'i'. He says one day Amir al-Mu'mineen confronted the first Khalifa and said to him, you are not giving back our rights. Why did you take it knowing that it was in the hands of Sayyida Fatima? First Khalifa said, you need to bring witnesses. You know what Imam said? You know, because the Ahl al-Bayt, they don't use the same argument all the time. That is their excellence. They bring narrations and verses. Therefore, Amir al-Mu'mineen would say to him, have you read Ayatul Tathir? إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. He said, yes, I have. He said, let me ask you a question. If today two people come and they testify against the daughter of the Prophet Fatima, and they say something against her that deserves for her to be punished, would you punish her? He says, of course I'll punish her. أُقِيمُ الْحَدَّ عَلَيْهَا. Yes, I will punish her. Amir al-Mu'mineen said, then you are favoring the words of human beings over the words of the Almighty. He says, why? He says, doesn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honor her in this particular verse to say that she speaks the truth? She is mutahhara, tahira, yes? The narrations tell us that at that moment Abu Bakr would not say anything. He became silent, yes? Later, when he went back, he would speak to the second Khalifa. Asma bint Umais would narrate what would happen. And she would speak to people. Look, there is a plot that is about to happen. There is a plot that is going to occur. And therefore you find that Sayyida Fatima loved her. And indeed would speak to her. In narrations it is mentioned that Sayyida was so wary about how she will be carried in a coffin that she said to Asma, Asma, tell me, is there a way that my body will not show, or the shape of my body will not show when it is being carried as far as a coffin is concerned? Asma said, yes, when I was in Abyssinia, they had a specific type of coffin which was what? Which would cover entirely the body, and the body would not show inside. The narrations tell us that that coffin was the one that indeed Sayyidatun Nisa was placed in. Yes. Similarly, indeed, what do we find? We find that Asma bint Umais was told by Fatima alayhi salam, bring me this hunut. Yes, this hunut means a mixture that the Prophet of Islam had left. Yes, he left part of it for me and part of it for him. It was Asma who would bring this. People ask the question, what does this mean for me as an individual? When I look at Asma's position, yes, that she was principled and she stood for justice. Today I tell you, if a husband comes and says to his wife, remove the hijab, what does she do? Today I tell you, if you're in a business transaction, yes, with someone from the Muslim community or anybody else that you know who is a faithful individual, and they tell you, you know what, it's okay, cut corners. It's okay, I'll take some interest from you, yes? It's okay, let's look for a loophole. I tell you many a times, when it comes to difficult positions, when it comes to challenges, when it comes to calamities and hardship, we sometimes side with what? Side with what that gives us our own satisfaction rather than the satisfaction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine how hard it was for Asma to go against her husband. Yes? Imagine how hard it is to stand. But nothing is hard when she feels the sweetness and the elixir of the wilaya of Ali Muhammad. Asma bint Umais needs to be honored because she said no to the oppressor and said yes to justice and equity, isn't it? That today in my transactions, in any way in my life, when I am dealing with others, I need to keep my own fiqh, I need to keep my own principles in check, yes? And not necessarily go with that which pleases me. Sometimes I struggle, I see cases, I see people, I look at them and I say, they are religious. They're known to be religious. But when it comes to disputes, when it comes to areas which the ego becomes the factor that dictates their lives, everything goes out the window. Forget about my religion, forget about the Ahl al-Bayt, yes? It's about how I will achieve whatever I wish, yes? And that's why the narrations tell us that it was Asma bint Umais who was one of the last to meet and to see Sayyidatun Nisa Fatima. And that in itself is a great merit for Asma, yes, isn't it? Because according to historical records, after the attack on the house of the Holy Lady, after her ribs were broken, after her son was miscarried, yes, after her rights were taken away from her, the narrations tell us that she became so weak, yes, that the ulama, the historians say, كأنها شبح. It is as if she was just a shadow, yes. She had become so weak. It was Asma who would nurse Fatima Zahra. It was Asma who would be next to her. It would be Asma who would attend to her needs, listen to her wasiyya, take whatever she wanted, yes. Allahu Akbar. What were the final moments of the life of Sayyida that Asma bint Umais herself narrates, that Asma herself recognized, that would break the heart of this honorable lady, yes, when she would see Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha in that state. Allahu Akbar, yes. And the narrations tell us at that moment that Asma sees Sayyida Fatima, sees Sayyida Fatima preparing like no other day. She performs the ghusl, she prepares some food. تقول أسماء ثم إن فاطمة اغتسلت ولبست ثوبا جديدا. لبست ثوبا جديدا. Fatima would sit, yes, she had worn new clothes. وقالت يا أسماء إني داخل حجرتي أصلي نوافلي إذا انقطع صوتي ناديني إن أجبتك وإلا فاعلمي بأني لاحقة بأبي رسول الله. تقرأ القرآن، تذكر الباري عز وجل. تقول أسماء دخلت فاطمة إلى حجرتها بينما أنا أسمع صوتها بتلاوة القرآن، إذا انقطع صوت فاطمة ناديتها يا زهراء يا بنت رسول الله أجيبيني. لم تجبها. ناديتها يا سيدة النساء أجيبيني. لم تجب. ناديتها يا أم الحسنين أجيبيني. يا أم الحسن والحسين. دخلت عليها الحجرة وإذا بفاطمة ممددة نحو القبلة، الرداء على وجهها، كشفت الرداء عنها وإذا بها قد فارقت روحها الدنيا. أي رحم الله من نادى وفاطمة ومظلومته وشهيدته. تقول أسماء أصبحت في حيرة من أمري. الآن يرجع الحسن والحسين يسألان عن أمهما فاطمة، ماذا أقول؟ تقول بينما أنا كذلك وإذا بالباب يطرق، فتحت الباب وإذا بالحسن والحسين دخل الدار. الحسين يلتفت في الدار. أسماء أين أمنا فاطمة؟ قلت لهما سيدي إن أمكما نائمة. قال أسماء أمنا لا تنام في مثل هذا الوقت، هذا وقت عبادتها، ليس من طبعها ولا من سجيتها أن تنام في هذا الوقت. بدأوا يسألون أسماء أين أمنا فاطمة؟ تقول قلت يا سيدي اجلسا حتى أقدم لكما شيئا من الطعام. فقدمت لهما الطعام. وضعت الطبق بين يدي الحسن والحسين. كلا يا قرة عين الرسول. وإذا بالحسين يقول أسماء من أين علمت أننا نأكل وليس معنا أمنا الزهراء؟ الله أكبر. والحسن كذلك. قام الحسين مهرولا إلى الحجرة، جلس عند أمه فاطمة مناديا أماه كلميني أنا عزيزك الحسين. ما أجابت. أماه كلميني قبل خروج روحي من بدني. ما أجابت.
صاح أخي أبا محمد عظم الله لك الأجر بأمنا فاطمة. الله أكبر. اسمع ما تقول أسماء. تقول أسماء: والله الذي لا إله إلا غيره لقد كسر خطري الحسين، رأيته يقبل أقدام أمه فاطمة ويقول: أمه كلميني. الله يا صاحب العصر والزمان، إليك المصاب في هذه الليلة. قالت أسماء: قلت لهما: سيدي اذهبا إلى المسجد وأخبرا أبوكما بموت أمكما فاطمة. أقبل الحسن والحسين في بكاء ونحيب. استقبلهما الأصحاب: ما يبكيكما يا قرة عين رسول الله؟ لعلكما تذكرتما مصاب جدكما رسول الله. فبدأ يقولان: لا، وليس قد ماتت أمنا فاطمة. تقول الروايات: سمع أمير المؤمنين وهو في المسجد سقط على الأرض وهو يقول: بمن العزاء بعدك يا فاطمة. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. قام الإمام عليه السلام بتغسيلها، وكانت تساعده على ذلك أسماء بنت عميس. ولما أتم غسلها وكفنها وقبل أن يقعد الرداء عليها صاح: يا حسن يا حسين يا زينب يا أم كلثوم، هلموا تزودوا من أمكم، فهذا الفراق واللقاء في الجنة. فأقبل الحسنان يقولان: وحسرتاه لا تنطفي في فقد جدنا المصطفى وأمنا الزهراء إذن الدنيا. فقال أمير المؤمنين: اسمعوا يا موالين، قال أمير المؤمنين: أشهد الله أنها حنت وأنت ومدت يديها وضمتهما إلى صدرها مليا. يا حسناه وحسيناه. وإذا بهاتف من السماء ينادي: يا أبا الحسن ارفعهما عنها فلقد أبكيا والله ملائكة السماء. أقول: سيدي ومولاي يا أمير المؤمنين، الحسين على صدر أمه فاطمة والملائكة تبكي، كيف تحملت الملائكة والشمر صعد على جسم الحسين؟